Okay, guys, last week I did my unboxing sort of video for the Asvape Michael VO200. Yeah, so I got a chance to kind of play around with it. I did have to teach myself the menu system, which is a little frustrating, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, so let's come in a little closer and all that good stuff and check it out, and we'll come up and talk about it a little bit more. This is what the Michael from Asvape looks like, and I absolutely love the artwork. This particular one, it is the same artwork on the front, or on this side as it is on this side, or the front and back, however you want to say it. They are the same. I think that's fantastic. We also have the zombie edition as well, which is not that way. They are, oh, it looks great on this camera. Yeah, so look at that beautiful artwork. But side by side, they are the same size. Everything is the same, as well as the bottom and all that good stuff. How fantastic. I think they are beautiful, beautiful pieces. Yeah, so let's get into a little bit more here. The button itself, which is this here, has some engraving on it. I like that little touch that they did, and you can actually feel it. I think that that's interesting as well. You have your firmware updating port here, your screen, and your up and down button. I do want to say, and I'll get into it more whenever I go through the screen and all of that stuff, or the menu, shall I say. They're not marked on here. And if you don't know which is positive and which is negative, you can kind of mess yourself up on the screen or on the menu, and I'll explain that more in a second. Here's your 510. It's got this beautiful, beautiful etching work here, and we measured it, and it is 35 millimeters all the way across. A 25 millimeter Addy fits on here perfectly. Here's the bottom where the door is, and it slides off. There is a magnet, one little magnet, and a serial number as well. I don't know if y'all can catch that. There it goes. Yeah, the door is not my favorite thing. Lately, I have been seeing that to be an issue. I don't care for this door. I wish it had a couple more magnets, maybe. Maybe a little bit more clearance as well for the little hinges to fit into. But it is, once you have batteries in it, in my opinion, I had a tough time with this door. But once the batteries are in it, you're golden. It's perfect. It stays on really tight. There's no rattle or any of that either. So yeah, speaking of batteries, let's throw some in here. There it goes. All right, so here's the screen powered by VO chip. 5 clicks will turn it on. And there it is. You get a lot of information. Okay. Whew, let's go over this. 3 clicks will lock the device. There it is right there. And 3 clicks will unlock the device. Okay, so let's get to the menu. 5 clicks, so this is the positive and this is the negative from the way I'm holding it. So if you do 5 clicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hit the up, you can go through your temperature settings. And I mean, each of them you can do Fahrenheit, Celsius, and actually choose which one you want to use. And here's where you choose all of your different features, and you're going to select them with the power button. Now, if you go into the menu and hit the down button, it will turn your system off. So here's why I say it's very important to know which is the positive and which is the negative, because anywhere in your menu system, if you're trying to set something, if you're trying to do any of that, and you hit this negative button, it will shut your system down. So it's just you just have to sit down and play with it. It took me about 15 or 20 minutes to kind of figure out how it all worked. And once I figured it out, it was okay. Let's get back here. So here's your bypass mode. This is a series box mod. I mean, this is a series mod. This is a series mod. What the bypass means is you can select it and you would bypass the series and actually turn it into what I like to call a pure power. So it's gonna run parallel, basically. It'll take the pure power from your batteries, and you can see it here. It says 8.35 volts. So that's what it would be putting out instead of the standard 4.2 volts it would need if you had a fully charged battery and all of that good stuff. Yeah, so let's get back into the system. Here we go. Power, temp, bypass, and this is the power curve setting. So you have you can program up to 5 power curve settings, which I think is pretty interesting, especially if you have a couple of atomizers that you want to run on this and you want them to each run differently. So that's where that would come into play. You can actually edit the power curve setting and go in here and go up and down and tell it what seconds you and how you want it to push. I'm still kind of learning this system, even though I've had it for about a week, so please don't judge me. I don't know the VO chip. I don't know. It's basically like learning the funky over, except for a little bit more customization that you can have. But yeah, learning this menu can be very difficult. I run on pure power on wattage, so that's pretty much where I'll stay. If I decide to run temp control, which I did, and I do have a couple of negative things to say about the temp control. One thing that frustrates me about this is that you cannot control the wattage and the temperature. You can only control one or the other. I like to control the wattage along with my temperature if I am doing temp control, just because I think that I don't know, I think it might be a mental thing, but I've done some reading. I'm not the only one that likes to do it that way. But with the temp control on this mod as of right now, you can only do one or the other, temp control or wattage in temp control. I know that sounds confusing, but that's real. All right, so yeah, that's my only complaint other than the door. So I have 2 complaints, and yeah, let's come up and talk about it a little bit more, guys. All right, guys, so you actually got to see the little up close and personal on both of these because we do have both versions. And yeah, overall, I am very pleased. I wish that the door was a little bit, for the price of this mod, I wish the door was a little better. But I have to keep in mind that it's got that VO200 chip, or the VO chip, however you want to say it. I have to keep in mind that it does have that, and I do like that chip as well. I've run it as much as I could on temp control. I am not a temp control person, but it works perfectly on temp control, just how it should. But wattage is what I normally run it on. I had no issues. I even did the bypass feature, which I don't like to do often, but just for the purpose of being able to tell you I did it, and it was successful and it worked great. I have no complaints about this mod. I think that it's perfect for the price point that it's in. I love the artwork on this mod. It is definitely a flashy piece, like I have said, and I like both of them equal amounts. I think they're beautiful pieces of hardware to have. Yeah. and you can get yours at VapeWild.com.